All right, let's get started. So, welcome to Ann Arbor UTech meetup, and this is the October 2019 edition. This is the 10th year of this meetup now, so it's our anniversary year, and I think it's feeling like fall outside, maybe a little bit of winter this morning when I was leaving, and so thanks for coming back this month and joining us for another edition of this meetup. I'm the host for the meetup, David Nesbitt, and I help manage a portfolio of EdTech tools at the University of Michigan, just a couple blocks away from here. This meetup since 2009, we've had 100 plus meetups, 350 plus companies that have pitched here, and we have 7,500 members and climbing, and last year we had almost 60 pitches, so it's a really active group, a lot of people that are new every time and coming into the group, a lot of people that are experiencing the Ann Arbor tech community through this group. So thanks for coming and be a part of it. And we see this as kind of a friendly front door for entrepreneurship in Michigan. And so this is one of the places that a lot of startups will come and pitch and get connected. And so hope you can meet some neat people tonight and make some connections and learn some things. So let's get a sense of who's in the audience tonight, and a little differently than usual. Raise your hand if you're an entrepreneur currently who's in the room. Okay, so a lot of people running their own thing. Who's someone who wants to start a venture? Who's looking to start something? I think more people than probably are raising their hands. But awesome. Investors, or people looking to invest in things. A couple people around, probably more also than are raising their hands. People that do marketing, marketers. Okay, so a couple people marketers. Software developers in the room. All right, third of the room, something like that. Interested in technology in general. Okay, that should be like everyone in here. That's what the meetup is about. So this monthly time, we always meet in the third Tuesday of every month, and this time allows us to learn what's going on out there in the Ann Arbor tech community and beyond. Also to meet the other people who are building and shaping the future of tech here in Ann Arbor. So this is an important group to come together and to meet these people here so that you can help others out, so that you can learn yourself and make connections. Each of us has kind of our own goals for being here, but I encourage you to see if you can help someone out tonight in some way by making a connection for them, giving them a piece of advice that can help them, or offering your help in some way. And definitely come join us afterwards at Pizza House to enjoy some free pizza courtesy of Ann Arbor Spark. They've been sponsoring our networking time pizza for quite a while now, and so we appreciate that and definitely hope that you can join us there. We usually have about 25 to 30 people that are there, so it's a great time to come and connect more with people that maybe you didn't get to meet during the event while you're here. You can mingle a little bit here afterwards, but you're kind of limited in terms of how many people you can talk to. So come on over to Pizza House and join us there and talk to some more folks. Before next month's meeting, if you want to stay connected with people that are here in the room or in the tech community at large in Ann Arbor, I encourage you to come to check out madeina2.com/Slack. Slack is a place, they have a Slack team for the Ann Arbor tech community called Made in A2. And that's a place you can stay connected with people in terms of general announcements about tech here, events that are going on that you want to know about, open jobs, recruiting. There's a variety of different channels that you can check out there. So if you have not seen it before, take a look, or if it's been a while since you've logged in, which happens sometimes to me, go take a look and see what has been updated in there since you were last in there, and stay connected with people that way. And that's madeina2.com/Slack is how you can join that. I also want to take a quick moment to say thank you to some people that help make this possible in organizations. So A2 Geeks is a nonprofit dedicated to making Southeastern Michigan and Ann Arbor a great place for geeks and creatives to live, work, and play. Roger Rayle does our video every month, and so let's give Roger a round of applause for doing that. If you want to hire Roger for video work, you can look up R2Vive on Google, R2Vive, and you can look up his services there. There's also a variety of co-organizers who have made this event happen over the last 10 years. And so I want to say thank you to them: Doug Song, Zach Steinler, Scott Gosey, David Bloom, David Corcoran, Brian Kelly, Brooke Boyle, and others. And so we appreciate them helping curate presenters and even give coaching at times to help make this event an excellent one for people to come to. And then also the Entrepreneurship Clinic at U of M Law Schools. We're in U of M Law School's facility right now, and that's because they get us this room, or a room, in their facilities every month. And so we appreciate them helping us out. If you're a company in Michigan, especially a startup, you can actually get free IP corporate and other legal services from law students here at the U. And so contact Laura Schultz, who's the clinic administrator, to learn more. Sometimes people ask me what her contact info is, and I say you can look it up on Google. If you go to like the Entrepreneurship Clinic's website, I can also give it to you, but it's very easy to look up. Look up Laura Schiltz, kind of approximate the spelling of her name, and you can find it on there. Sound good? Okay, cool. Google's great. You can look up a lot of stuff on there. Ann Arbor Spark, I also want to say thank you to them for sponsoring our post meetup networking. If you're not familiar with Ann Arbor Spark, they're committed to bringing together organizations and individuals to support the growth of companies and the creation of jobs. And they're sponsoring our pizza again this month, so we appreciate them doing that. And I think Margarita Hernandez from Spark will be out here later tonight. So if you want to learn about Spark and what they do, how they can help you, how you can be involved with them, you can connect with her later. Okay, so agenda for tonight, we're going to go until about 8 p.m. and we'll have 5 companies that are each doing a 5-minute pitch, and then we'll have 5 minutes of Q&A for each one afterwards. And so after that, we'll also have a community announcements time. So those are a time for a 1 to 2 minute announcement from anyone in the audience who wants to announce an event or a position they're hiring for, a job they're looking for, anything related to tech in the community. And so think about what your announcement is now, and then you can line up after the pitches over here. We'll bring you up one at a time to stand in front of this podium and make your announcement to the group. And so it's a great way to get out something if you're trying to promote it to the group or let people in the community know. One more thing I'll say about the pitches is if you have a question you want to ask in the Q&A section, raise your hand and we'll call on you. Just to maintain some semblance of order. And then we'll also, if you can make sure to ask that in the form of a question, that would be great. So sometimes it's tempting to give feedback. A lot of people in the room have experience with entrepreneurship, and so you may have great ideas for them. But I ask that you ask it in the form of a question, and then you can give feedback afterwards when you talk one-on-one with the person presenting. Last thing I'll say is silence your phones so that nothing goes off. And if you tweet or Instagram, use the hashtag A2NewTech. And I think that's everything, so we'll get started. So our first pitch, you can come on up, Alexa, is Therapy Medical Products, and Alexa Jones is the CEO and founder. Therapy Medical is the creator of Snuglet, the first completely portable and wearable treatment for infant jaundice that eliminates separation between mother and baby. I actually saw Alexa pitch at Accelerate Michigan a couple years ago, so I'm excited to see this again, see what the progress is, and so I'll let her take it away. And I'll have your timer right down here, Alexa.
There we go. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the nice introduction. As David said, my name is Alexa Jones, and I'm the CEO and founder of Therapy Medical. And we believe that the first moment of your child's life should be in your arms. I'll just use this. When my mom tells me the story of my birth, I'm always amazed at how much she remembers. Though it's mostly a story of joy, she also recalls with sadness when she was discharged and I had to stay in the hospital to receive treatment that looked like this. This is called phototherapy. It's used to treat infant jaundice, which is a serious but common condition that affects newborn babies. Over 60% of all babies have some form of jaundice, and that's over 20 million babies requiring treatment each year. Though it's common, jaundice is dangerous and can cause irreversible brain damage or even death if not treated within the first few days of life. So the treatment that's currently used is called phototherapy, and it's the direct exposure of blue light directly to the infant's skin. These are some of the products that are used in hospitals today to treat infant jaundice. On the left you see a fiber optic product that's powered by a light engine. And as you can see, it's clunky, cumbersome, has to plug into the wall. And on the right is an overhead, either halogen or LED overhead, almost like tanning bed style of phototherapy light. And it's common for nurses to use both of these at the same time, or sometimes 2 of those and 1 of these at the same time to try to cover the most of the baby's surface area. In interviewing nurses about this problem, we found that the common issues with these treatments are that they only cover one side of the baby's body, so that's why they use multiple at one time. They make breastfeeding and maternal-infant bonding difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. As you can imagine, for babies being treated like this, it's nearly impossible to have any skin-to-skin contact at all during the first week of life. and also causing extra work for nurses on staff in either labor and delivery or the NICU. Essentially, these treatment methods haven't been updated in over 30 years, and they're currently unsatisfactory to everyone involved. Our solution to these problems is Snuglet, which is a wearable phototherapy swaddle that provides blue light phototherapy from the inside of a baby swaddle. It's an all-in-one device that provides 360-degree coverage in one device, so you don't have to use 2 or even 3 products at once, and it's free of all tubes, cords, and overhead lighting. I'll turn it off so it doesn't affect the video there. We've developed Snuglet with over 200 moms and nurses over the past few years. Here you see some of our design iterations that we've done. We've gone into hospitals with different mock-ups, different prototypes, features for a bunch of different variations of Snuglet, and we've come to this product because we know that it's solving an actual need in the market, both in the hospital market, but also the home care market. So we're excited to fill those needs. Snuglet provides different values for both family and the hospital. For the family, as you can imagine, it's really focused on that maternal infant or parent and infant bonding time, breastfeeding without separation, and completely eliminating all of the clunky, cumbersome equipment. This is especially important in a home care setting, where you can imagine you wouldn't want to sit with the machine plugged in for 7 to 14 days. For the nurses, the values are more based around the time savings, both in the increased surface area coverage. There is a direct correlation between the more you cover of the baby's body, the faster jaundice is treated, but also time savings in the nurse's workflow, just because it's a more easy to use, more compliant solution for parents. This is a 2-piece set. It's kind of hard to see in this prototype here, but the outside piece is disposable, the swaddle itself, and that's used at least 1 per day per baby, so that provides a nice recurring revenue model for us. The inside reusable light piece is held in inventory in the hospital, and that's priced comparably with the current products. In terms of regulatory, we are a Class 2 device, so we require no clinical trials, only bench tests. We have a patent we filed last year, and also this product is reimbursed through existing codes for phototherapy. So far, we have 75 letter of intent documents for our orders in 2020, which is about $400,000. Whoa, I don't know what happened. And we've also been working on an international partnership with a company called Dr. Reddy's Labs, which is a multi-million-dollar pharma company. The chairman of that company has taken a personal interest in pediatric med devices that have a social spin, so we're working with them to have our pilot there in the spring and then launch in 630 public hospitals the next year. We have a wonderful team with robust experience, as well as a well-rounded advisory board. I'm here today because we are raising a seed round. We have $350,000 committed already, so we're looking for investors to help fill out the remainder of that round by the end of this year. But we're also looking for connections to anything healthcare related, whether it's hospitals in the area, or you know someone who's a nurse in labor and delivery, or maybe a pediatrician. But then also on top of that, we're looking to hire at least 2 people, either part-time or full-time, people with experience in medical device sales, also anything regulatory related product development in the medical device space. So with that, I'll take any questions.
All right, questions for Alexa?
Yeah, so what is the market size? Is that 24 million baby, but not every baby need that, right? So
Well, that's how many require treatment globally.
Exactly.
So it's about a $5 billion global market.
5 billion.
Yeah.
What about the only US?
Only US is about 250 million if we're looking at just replacing the equipment that currently exists in hospitals.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, right here.
Testing to determine how the product performs versus the conventional products?
Yeah, so there's American Academy of Pediatrics standards documents for the technical specs for phototherapy, so we've done all of that testing. Our first in vivo testing will be in India in the spring, but we'll have completed safety tests all of the safety tests that we need for the FDA prior to having any kind of individual studies. Because we don't need any clinical trials for the FDA, we can prove all of the efficacy through bench tests, but we still plan on having pilot studies essentially.
Could you clarify for me? So this product could help mothers take their babies home earlier?
Yes.
You said kind of potentially and maybe could. Do you have more specifics on how that might work?
Yeah, so our goal at first is just to establish Snuglet as a credible treatment for in-hospital use. But I think the bigger plan is to promote Snuglet as the primary product for at-home use. And one of the ways that we'll do that is by doing a comparative time study with the current product, which only covers the baby's back, versus this product. So we haven't done that pilot yet because we don't have our FDA approval yet.
Okay.
Markets are always really slow to change, and specifically within the medical field. I know that you've had some conversations with nurses and medical device manufacturers, I'm sure. What is the pathway to entering the U.S. medical market, and do you have any plans currently laid out to enter that marketplace?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So our first two marketplaces that we plan on entering is the U.S. and India. It's a global market, but we definitely don't plan on trying to go too many places at once. In terms of the U.S. market, I don't know if it showed up here. Here it is. But these are the hospitals that we've worked with over the past few years, either in taking physical prototypes there for developmental reasons or having nurses or peds doctors reach out to us trying to buy the product already. So there's definitely a want for this product that we're already seeing, but in terms of just if we were to enter, go to a hospital, what would that process look like? If we didn't have a warm entry essentially already, we'd be selling to a clinical champion who would be either a neonatologist or perhaps a pediatrician who's in maternal infant care. And then they would essentially take that to their value analysis committee for that particular hospital. But then we're also looking at GPO, whether maybe regional GPO purchasing connections for maybe our second or third year. So we don't have to scale through the U.S. on like a single hospital basis, of course.
What are you using the $1 million for?
$1 million is used to get from where we are now with this prototype to a fully commercialized product, starting with at least the 30 units we need for our India pilot. So that involves completing development and testing, and then submitting for the 510K for the FDA, and setting up our manufacturing line, which we're manufacturing here in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Middle?
What's the normal length of time for treatment?
Pardon me?
How long does a baby normally need treatment? Is it a day?
Usually it's like 2 to 14 days, but in the hospital it's usually 2 to 7. 14 is usually if you're going home.
What percentage of cases end up taking treatment home?
There's really no way of tracking that. I've asked so many doctors that they don't really have a good answer, but a lot of the decision he asked what percentage of babies go home, and my answer was that all the physicians we've asked don't really track that information, but they do know that there's a big portion of babies that could go home because they have nothing else wrong with them, but for a number of reasons they choose to keep them in the hospital. Maybe they want to cover both sides and they don't want to have 2 products at home, or for whatever reason they don't feel like the parents would use it the right way, so they choose to keep the babies at home. So that one of the things we've heard is that with this product, a lot of those concerns would go away.
Cool. Thank you. All right, and our next pitch is Line Leap. So Patrick Skelly is here to present Line Leap. And Line Leap is the open table for nightlife. Do you have the clicker? Alexa, do you have the clicker USB?
No, I put it in the,
Oh, is it?
it's in the thing in your hand.
Oh, it's in
I couldn't get it to work, but.
there. All right, we'll give it a shot. I don't know. Give it.
Hi, my name is Patrick Skelly. I just graduated from the University of Michigan in May, and I'm the CEO of LineLeap, the open table for bars and nightclubs. Most recently, we went through Y Combinator this summer. And so the problem that we're solving is threefold. For customers, they currently lack a platform where they can buy all their nightlife products and see everything in one spot. Nightlife venues struggle getting customers to their venues on slow nights and struggle to maximize their revenue on busy nights. And lastly, we have the alcohol brands who currently face extremely high customer acquisition costs by marketing so far from the point of sale. An example of that would be a TV ad that you're watching when you're not close to making a purchase, whereas with LineLeap, they're actually able to target customers right at the point of sale. So our solution is a mobile app where customers can buy all their products in one spot. Venues then are able to drive traffic on slower nights. An example of this would be them selling a cheap pre-order drink on like a slow Tuesday or Wednesday night, getting customers in the door. They're also able to maximize their revenue on busy nights. An example of this would be on really busy nights, they'll have a long line outside their venue. Through our app, they're able to sell skip the line passes VIP options, which generate an extremely new big source of revenue to their bottom line. And then lastly, for these alcohol brands, instead of targeting customers when they're on the couch or through billboards, TV ads, etc., they're actually able to target these customers when they're at the point of sale, walking into these venues, thinking about making their purchases. So the process is extremely simple. For the customer, they go on our app, they choose the product of their choice, whether it be pre-ordering a drink, paying for cover, buying a skip the line pass. For the customer, they're able to pay with Venmo, credit card, or PayPal. When they get to the venue, their venue's able to redeem their product with the click of a button. So instead of having a credit card and printing out a receipt, it's just a single tap. Much quicker and more efficient. And so far, this has worked incredibly well. We've been able to do, these are a little outdated, over $900,000 in gross revenue so far. We now have over 70 venues that we're working with. And we're able to mainly build this business while in school before going to Y Combinator this summer out in San Francisco, kind of refining the business and our growth strategy. And now we're trying to expand and get into every college town these next 2 years and then move into the city market more going forward. As far as our competitive landscape, we're the only company that's really trying to put all of these pieces together. A lot of our competitors, namely like Eventbrite would be great for a venue that's doing a one-off ticketing event. But with LineLeap, they're able to sell drinks, do different things that have customers coming back, and we want to be a long-term partner with these venues that generates value in different ways. As far as our competitive advantage, we already have over 50 of the biggest college venues, so we're getting these customers right when they're turning 21 and deciding kind of what brands they like, and those are exclusive contracts. Then for our technology, we built a solution that's specifically designed for venues. So like Eventbrite would be a all-in or a do-it-yourself ticketing platform, whereas with LineLeap, the redemption process, everything's customizable for the bar. And then lastly, we've gotten to talk to the CEO of Ketel One and Gallo and different alcohol brands to make sure that we're maximizing our service for them as well. For our revenue streams, we take a cut of each thing that goes through our platform. So for the line skipping, we take 30% of that. For the ticketing, we take 5 to 10%. And then when we have the alcohol brands pay us, that's 100% gross profit to us. So that goes straight to our bottom line. And then these are just our projections. Ultimately, we want to be like what Open Table was for restaurants. We want to do that for nightlife. And so we're starting with mainly line skipping and drinks, but we want to be the kind of that overarching platform for the entire industry. And this is the team. Nick and I both went to Michigan. Max and I worked on a previous startup together. Jack goes to Northwestern. And I'm here today. We've raised 1.8 of our $2 million seed round. And we're looking for energetic people that are interested in maybe joining the team, or anyone with experience in the industry. Any thoughts or feedback? Thank you.
All right, questions for Patrick?
Do you sell then ad space on the app to alcohol brands as well as paying the revenue from the other?
Yeah, so
Okay.
what we'll do for the alcohol brands is for that pre-order drink, typically what we do is we'll have like 1 or 2 options. So if you know where you're going and you want to plan out your night, you can buy a Coors Light or let's say like a Smirnoff shot or something. But we'd only put, and you can get it for $1 instead of like the normal $5 it is. But we only put 2 of those brands. So the brand, for example, we have a brand now that's getting that pre-ordered drink. So they're the spot that every person in that city, when they go to the bar, they're starting their night on their drink through our app.
For that whole city, not just bar by bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned that your beachhead markets are college towns. Why? Why not bigger cities? Is that because you personally are in college and resonate more with college towns? You know, what's the rationale behind that?
Yeah, great question. So we did ticketing for 5 of the biggest Nashville venues, and we're working with a couple of Chicago venues as well. We definitely think that is the big market that we want to tackle, but as far as the sales cycle, it's very quick in college towns. It's usually like a mom and pop, and someone's able to make that decision quickly. In cities, it's a little bit longer. Also, by developing this base in college towns, the users are asking us, hey, I just graduated, I moved to New York City or Chicago. I'd love to use your service in this city. And when we're approaching these venues after we have a lot of customers, it's a completely different conversation than just walking in cold.
Okay. Do you face any legal responsibility for over-drinking?
No, so one of the things we do on our app is, for example, for the deals, we'll have it a limit so that even for the drink deal, we give a good drink deal, but it's limited to 1. We also are just a platform, so the venue's deciding like what deals they want to give, etc. And we're just kind of that intermediary between the customer and the venue.
I'm thinking for each college town, there may be dozens of different nightclubs. What does that customer acquisition cost look like, and what's the lifetime value of those customers?
Yeah, so the cost is a little hard to quantify since it's mainly time. As far as, like, we're able to, as soon as they say yes, we're able to get them up on the app. As far as the timeline, it usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get a venue to commit, and we'll just do a trial with them to start. After getting on that first venue, it's way easier. We're able to go to the other venues and say, hey, we generated the bar across the street an extra 20% of their revenue that night. Can we start working with you guys? And then as the network builds, it gets more and more powerful and easier to get more venues.
Have you experienced any customer churn? I suppose, like how many you had come on?
So we've actually had 0 churn from the venue side, which is really encouraging. As far as for the customers, because we're in college markets, there'll be students that graduate and move on to cities. But the venues are what we really consider our customers, because those are the ones that don't churn and are there using it.
How do you acquire new users? Like, what's your strategy?
Yeah, so we'll put out a sandwich board sign out on the busy nights that lets them know the line skip option. And then we put posters inside the bar, so they'll see that for the drinks and stuff. And then we benefit a ton from word of mouth because this space is so social and everyone's texting like, hey, where are you? What are the deals? Where should we go? We've had very little customer acquisition costs for users.
Yeah, I mean, great idea, but what is your strategy like expanding, you know? I think there is some opportunity, you know, if the platform is really expand well, it can be like, you can develop a platform like GoFnow.com, you know, so customers and suppliers, they can register them by their home rather than you guys walk around, you know? So you guys have those kind of strategy or future plan?
Yeah, so recently that's been happening and super exciting where venues are reaching out to us saying, hey, we want to be a part of this. And just like you're saying, we are making it self-serve, both for the venues putting up their products and for them onboarding onto our system, which I think is really going to help us.
That's all the time we got. Thank you. And our next pitch is Saharsh Hajela is pitching Shout. Shout is a mobile app that makes it fast and easy to contact your local, state, and federal representatives.
You need to move that way so you're not in the screen.
Oh, great. 176 million Americans. That's how many people in our country feel that the government does not represent them. 190 million Americans is the number of people who cannot name their state legislator. In fact, in 2018, a study at Johns Hopkins University found that 1 in 3 people can't name their governor, 4 of 5 people can't name their state legislator, and 8 out of 10 people in our country can't name their mayor. Now, there are dozens of people who make decisions for us every single day of our lives, but keeping them accountable and making sure our concerns get in front of them is a really painstaking, time-consuming, and frustrating process. And getting our concerns in front of representatives is time-consuming and confusing. As a result, 75% of Americans express frustration about being represented in their government. For the last year, I've studied this problem, and I've come to a solution. Hi, my name is Saharsh Hajela. I'm a recent graduate of the University of Michigan, and I'm here to talk to you about Shout, the mobile app that makes it fast and easy to get your concerns in front of the people who represent you. Let's talk about something we can all agree upon. Potholes are the worst. If today you drove here and you came down State and Washington Street, you would have driven over the same pothole that everybody else did because it's been here for the last 4 years that I've been going to school here. Normally, I would drive over that pothole, swear a couple times, and just go on with my day. But with Shout, that process of reporting a pothole becomes so much easier. All I have to do is open the app and type my message, click send. I get a list of everybody who represents me down to our city transportation commissioner, who many people might not know even exists. And then when I click her name, I actually get a list of how I want to contact her. These are her publicly available information channels. So I can email her, I can call her, I can get to her on Facebook. And this is the same for everybody who represents you, from your city ward representative all the way up to the president, if you really want to go there. Now, this is really new because for the first time, you can find and contact your public officials, stay up to date on your political inspirations, and see what people in your community care about politically, all in the same platform at the touch of your fingertips. And this problem has been has been tackled by thousands of institutions across the country, right? Care about this, contact this person, we're gonna send you an email about this. But all of these organizations have one thing in common, and that's that there's no tool for them that fits all their needs. Right now, they use something that's called a customer relationship management tool, which basically means here's a glorified spreadsheet of all the people that you've emailed, but we can't tell you if they actually took any action, if they actually got a response, or if what your messaging is doing really makes a difference for the people that you're trying to impact. But with Shout, we have one platform to tackle this problem of activism groups not being able to track their own activism. This market size in the United States is roughly $10 billion with so much in the market. As soon as we expand, it could go even more. But we provide one platform for all of those needs, for the individual who it's free for the organization who can pay, and for the government official who can finally do their job better. About me, my name is Saharsh, my co-founder's name is Colleen. We're both University of Michigan educated people. I've worked on things for international scale software architecture, and she's worked on self-driving cars. We have two advisors, one who founded a company called TreeStuff, which had multi-million-dollar revenues, and the other is Nick. He is the current brand lead of TreeStuff and manages their marketing budget. We launched on the iOS App Store a month ago with $0 spent on advertising. We've already acquired 350 users in the area, and we have 8 organizations lined up to pilot our premium product in November. If you are interested in downloading Shout, you can visit the website below. And if you're interested in talking to me about joining our pilot for your policy advocacy group or investing time or resources into the project, please let me know. Thank you.
All right, questions for Saharsh? Great pitch.
Thank you.
Everything's loaded all across the country?
No, so right now for anybody in the United States, you can download the app and use it for about 12 to 16 of your representatives. We're doing a really geo-targeted expansion, so we're starting in Ann Arbor, moving to the surrounding areas, and then so on and so forth. So if you download it and you live in Ann Arbor, we have about 37 people for you, but across the country about 12 to 16. Yeah.
What's your strategy for mobile? Right now you have iOS, what about Android?
Yeah, so right now if you go to the website, you can sign up for Android beta. We're finishing up that beta testing right now. We expect it to be on the store by next Wednesday, but sometimes there are delays, so within the next 15 days.
How do you make money?
How do we make money? Yeah, so as I talked about right now, there's like tons of organizations that try and get people motivated, but all they can do is really keep a big list of people and their email addresses and just like pray that they somehow contact their representatives, which isn't effective. But on Shout, what we can do for those organizations is say, hey, just like on Twitter, you can make an account, people can follow you. Whenever you would type an email, instead you shout about it, and every person who follows you gets a notification on their phone that says, you know, Bill HR 123 needs to be voted for. When they click that notification, they can read your post, and at the bottom, it will say something like, you know, Citizens Climate Lobby suggests you shout Gretchen Whitmer about this issue. And that person, instead of having to wait to call their representative, put away their phone, right there and then they can take action, which is something that these organizations don't currently have access to, and that's what they would pay for.
So are they paying for, like, what's the revenue model?
So it's a subscription-based model.
Okay.
So they get insights as to what their messaging is doing, how many people are clicking through, things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does this look like on the representative end? Are they getting a notification every time somebody shouts at them?
Yeah.
Email reports? How does that work?
So the cool thing about Shout is that everything is public. So when you email your representative, not only can we see it on Shout, but that really goes to their inbox and it goes from you. So when they reply, it'll go right to you as well. You can also choose to shout it just through Shout, in which case we'll send them an email that says, hey, someone's trying to talk to you. We're going to be working with public officials starting at the local level and going up so that they can get automated reports. For those of you who don't know, the way it works right now is that a politician has to sacrifice someone on their team to be a staffer at the phone and literally has a pen and a paper there that says, okay, this issue, 1 vote, this issue, 2 votes. It's a super ineffective strategy, and that's why there's so many problems with their political system. But with Shout, since all forms are going through one platform, we can send them automated reports, not only giving them access to that person, but giving them better insight as to what their constituents want.
I can see this being attractive to a person who is already politically active. Are there plans in place to sort of get people to, get the 2 to people that don't know their mayor to get them involved in something?
Yeah, so the thing that we're planning on doing first is capturing all the people who are politically active because there's strength in numbers. And the more people who use the platform, the more people who aren't already politically involved will see the need, right? That's one of the reasons we came up with the idea for the shout feed, because a lot of people get surprised when certain political actions happen. But if all of that is public, then if someone's saying, hey, I love this pothole, keep it, that triggers something in my mind that says, oh, my voice is needed in this space. And the reason a lot of people are apathetic towards politics is because they feel like they can't make a difference and they don't know what's happening. So we're starting with the education step for them to say, oh, wait, I have something to say. Because let's face it, who have you met in the world that doesn't have an opinion about something? Really, nobody. It's all about getting those people to understand that your voice does matter and there's a way for you to make it more effective.
You're back.
Oh, yeah.
How are you vetting the advocacy organizations that are accessing or requesting access about various things? I'm thinking like some front for the Russian agencies that may be looking to spread some kind of thing. So is there a vetting process that you can envision that would provide some legitimacy to the customers that are paying for your service?
Yeah, so right now we are meeting with everybody in person so we can interact with them. As we scale, there will be some sort of vetting process. We haven't thought that through yet, but if you have thoughts afterwards, I'd love to hear. Because that's something that we'll definitely come.
Time for one more, right here.
Have you considered a Patreon-like model?
We have considered Patreon-like model. There have been a couple solutions to this problem in the past, a lot of which have tried to be nonprofits or donation-based. They've all ultimately failed, and one of them was called Filibuster. We actually spoke in depth with the CEO and founder of Filibuster as to what prevented it from going forward, and that model just proved to not work because they weren't able to gain enough traction fast enough to then sustain the engineering part of it. But he's given us a lot of insight that has led to our model today.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next pitch is Nova, and Stephen Ketch is pitching Nova. Nova automates the creation and maintenance of your knowledge bases. If you don't know what a knowledge base is, Stephen's going to tell you.
Do you write that yourself?
I did not, actually. They just give me the lines.
You're doing a great job at it. Oh, I'll figure it out eventually. Nope. You haven't started my time, have you?
I've not. Seems like you needed some help.
I've never had this before.
Display settings in the top.
Display settings?
Yep, switch.
Yeah, there we go.
Swap presenter view? Sure. Hi guys, sorry. My name is Stephen Ketch, founder of Nova, and we build awesome knowledge bases. So first of all, I want to talk about why I'm talking about knowledge bases, because they're often thought of as this antiquated Web 1.0 solution to customer service, and you would be right. But the thing that is changing is that the demand for knowledge bases are growing. Millennials and Gen Zs go to knowledge bases for their customer service solutions first, over all other forms of customer service. Social media, chatbots, phone, email, all those cool, sexy things you're hearing about. That is not what people are looking for. They're looking for knowledge bases. But on the other hand, only 9% of small and medium businesses offer that. And so this is the gap that we are addressing. And we think we know why so few small and medium businesses are offering those knowledge bases. And it comes down to two problems. First, there's limited resources that a small and medium business has in creating and maintaining a knowledge base. I come from the customer success world. I built knowledge bases for every company I've ever worked for, and it sucks every time, and I hate it every time. And so that's one part of the problem. But on the other hand, small and medium businesses are going through rapid iteration. Their products are changing every month, every week, every day. If you're an entrepreneur in this room, you know what that's like. So you spend all this time creating the static content in a document somewhere, but then meanwhile your product is going through rapid iteration. And so when you combine those two factors, you get bad self-service. And when you get bad self-service for millennials and Gen Zs, that causes confusion. They don't trust your customer service process. They call you, they email you, or they churn. Now how could a bad knowledge base cause churn? Well, if you're like me, when I have a problem with one freemium product, I Google the solution for it, and I find ads and listicles for competing products, and I sign up for that second freemium product before I've solved the problem for the first freemium product. I did that setting up Nova like 3 times. So that's the problem, that's the end goal, that's the end cost for these small and medium businesses. So I'm going to talk about the two solutions that we have, and that's around creating content and creating it and keeping it up to date. I'm going to show you a quick demo of live code. Let's imagine that I'm a customer service representative for wikipedia.org, and I want to create an article on how to create an account. So I'm just going to go to wikipedia.org and launch our browser extension that's sitting on Chrome. When you do that, you're just going to type in the article name, how to create an account, hit start recording, and then go through the process of creating an account. Enter a username, enter a password, email address, and the CAPTCHA. And this is going to go through really fast, but you'll notice I make a mistake, and so I'm just going to click down here in the bottom to remove a couple steps in the process, go back and add those steps that I missed, and finally create account and done. Now when that's done, that's going to generate you an article. We just did this for you. The customer didn't write those sentences, they didn't take the screenshots, they didn't do the highlights. We did all that for them. All they did is click username, and we generated that sentence, and we generated that highlight over the username field. And we do this for every step in the process. So that's how they're going to create content. We're talking a few seconds over a few minutes per article and using different tools to cobble something together. Now, keeping it up to date. What the customer just did there actually is they programmed Noba on how their website works. We scraped all that content, and we're able to keep track of it, and as things change, we can update their knowledge base content. For example, if my account becomes user account, that's a really small, annoying thing to have to go change in your knowledge base, but we can do that for you. We'll update your screenshots, we'll update your highlights, and even the text of your sentences, and it'll now say user account. Now, I will say that this feature is something we're still working on. That is not live yet. What you saw before is getting ready to be live in the next 3 weeks. This is not. That's where we're going. So I want to talk about a serviceable, obtainable market. I don't want to say that we're going to be a $10 billion market. I want to talk about what's realistic for us in the next couple of years. Zendesk currently has 13,000 small and medium businesses with knowledge bases. Those are people who are willing to do this process manually, and so we think that this is a realistic goal for us in the next 3 to 4 years to get 13,000 small and medium businesses. So 13,000 small and medium businesses at $25 average MRR would be a $4 million annual recurring revenue business. Now, of course, that's just our starting point. We'll be growing from there as we lower the barrier of entry into a knowledge base. There are 3 ways you can get involved. If you're a small and medium business, you can go to noba.com, sign up. We'll be launching in 3 weeks for creating content. If you're a website builder in particular, I'm interested in talking to you about how we might be able to package Noba for you to resell to your customers. And third, we're raising $60,000. That's closing on January 1st. And that is frankly just to get us a little bridge step over to a larger round. Those are where we're at right now. Thank you.
All right, questions for Steven? Right here.
Kind of general question. Can you talk about, I guess, extendability to, let's say, more complex workflows? So something beyond, setting up a user account, but like a super complex workflow in the application.
So we're starting very small, of course. We're calling that self-healing. What can we self-heal and what can we not self-heal? And we're going to be able to do small things very well early. And then as we grow, the goal is to grow our capacity to self-heal and to create content for more complex things. There are always going to be things that we're never going to be able to do. There's an infinite number of variety in tech stacks and websites. And so what we can do at a minimum is we can at least notify the customer, hey, something has changed here, or something is missing here, and so the customer can focus their attention on those areas. That already is leaps and bounds above doing it yourself manually.
All right.
What kind of usage reporting do you have for the customers?
So, yes, we're not there yet, because, so what he's asking about is like analytics for like, hey, what are my customers searching for, and how do they, and attached to that would also be like, how do they get better search? Everybody's reinventing the wheel on analytics and search. If I'm completely honest with you, we're probably just going to purchase some SaaS product to do it for, because everybody's trying to be Google, and so let's just buy one of their products.
Any questions? Over here.
Can you talk about who your clients are right now? Are you testing it out with?
Zero. So we have 0 traction right now. And so when I say we're launching in 3 weeks, that is our MVP. And my goal is to get it in the hands of actual customers in the next 2 weeks, so a week before we launch. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Our pricing model is, in a way, it's very industry standard. We're just looking at monthly subscription, but in a way, I personally don't like paying per user seat, and so we've kind of bucked that trend. Like Zendesk is $15 to $25 a month per user. We're just doing a flat dollar fee, and then you're paying for additional features. Like, I want to have 5 independent knowledge bases or whatever it is. You'll be paying for that.
So just going on top of that question, because Zendesk is like an $8 billion company. Why settle for something so low? Like, why settle for such low pricing? I don't understand why 3 million. That seems extremely low.
Oh, for like the $25 monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
The pricing is there because we're initially targeting small and medium businesses who don't have the needs. So for a Zendesk, the small and medium business I'm talking about might have $1 million in revenue per year, but they only have 2 customer service agents. So they're spending $50 a month on customer service. So that's kind of the space that we're competing in. I could talk about it more afterwards, because in a way we're competing with Zendesk, in a way we're not competing with Zendesk. We're a complementary feature on Zendesk. We're actually going to have an API integration, but frankly, tools like Zendesk, that they just kind of set the pace on what pricing is in this space. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Where's the data going to be stored? Is it on the client, the customer side, or are you providing that service as well?
Yeah, currently right now it's cloud hosted with us. So we'll have eyes into all the analytics, and they'll do a subdomain, and so it'll look from the end user's perspective like it's all hosted on them, but the content is with us.
You mentioned that you're going to API integrate with Zendesk. Why would you? I'm curious why you would do that with one of your potential competitors.
We're not a competitor in terms of the feature. Zendesk can't do anything near what we can already do, and we haven't even launched yet in terms of creating content. So we're not a competitor on that. What we're trying to avoid is somebody saying, look, I do all my customer service on Zendesk, and so if you're not on Zendesk, you're making me choose between Zendesk and you. And we're never going to be Zendesk. We're not going to have phone or email. And so let's just put that competition aside and be partners.
Hi. What's the acquisition strategy?
I knew you were going to ask this. I was sitting there and I was like, he's going to ask this. Our acquisition strategy is a work in progress. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Last question.
So do you calculated so far like what your break-even point is with your subscription-based model and actual usage on the cloud?
Yeah. So if we hit the sales goals that I and my advisors think are very achievable, we'd be looking at the mid to end of year 3 for break-even.
That's all the time we got. Thank you. All right, our last pitch is 3D Infosys LLC, and Dominic Ria is here to pitch. 3D Infosys is a SaaS cloud platform that can be used to rapidly build software solutions pertaining to quality and compliance management with little or no software design expertise or coding required.
Sure. In your time, we'll be right here.
All right. All right. So thanks for having me. About less than 24 hours ago, I learned of this opportunity, and I've been working with my team on the application here. So I wanted to give you guys an overview of what it is. We're actually in the midst of a rebrand to 123go.io as our URL. So that's why you see there and what's going on there. What we are focused around is eliminating the frustration that exists within organizations that are related to software implementations. I saw a lot of organizations that were trying to come up with really grand requirements, documentation, selecting processes for RFPs and acquiring software, implementing software, going over budget, taking a lot of time there, and then supporting the solutions that they implemented and having those solutions adapt for them. So my goal is to resolve that. Primarily, I focus on manufacturing companies because that's what my background is, quality management within manufacturing specifically. The reason for that is that manufacturing companies are focused on making products. They're not software developers. They probably never will be, and they need assistance and help with that. They're also required to have applications in place to comply and manage quality for their customers and for the government. And they do have a need to remain innovative to be competitive within the market. So this is what our solution is. So we've got our services approach, listen, learn, and make a difference for them in building applications. And then we have a product, and this product is a low-code software application in the cloud, served as a SaaS application. And it's really, really fast, really, really simple to configure and build applications. So if they're using Excel or spreadsheets or Access databases or a hodgepodge of technology today, our application, we can build applications for them very rapidly. And that can be done at a very small fraction of the cost of larger projects for things like CRM, quality management software, quoting systems, etc. And it's 100% new tech, so it's plug and playable with all the latest technology, REST web services and mobile applications, IoT, etc. This is what our technology stack looks like right now. So we're AWS hosted. We've got a great CIO who is a AWS architect, a great Java developer, our CTO, and we're using these technologies to bring a multi-browser solution to businesses. So a little bit about us and our story. So this, my co-founder, our CTO, and myself, we started working together about 6 years ago and decided to go off and create our own software application. My background is in sales and solutions, and his background is in the technology more. And we happened to meet our CIO along the way, who's a cloud architect, DevOps expert. We launched our product in July. We have 3 manufacturing companies as customers, 2 of them live, 1 in progress. About 20 prospective clients in the pipe right now. We've got everything from commercial to Department of Defense contracts that are out there that we're looking at, from roughly $5 million in revenue to $100 billion in revenue as potential customers. And we're launching a new marketing campaign and a new brand here in October. So my goal and pitching here was to just let everybody know that technology like this exists and to help innovators innovate. So if there's an opportunity to innovate with information management within a company, it's my goal to help those people who are innovating on that to innovate. Help customers that are currently frustrated with their existing options and looking for partners within IT solution providers to help manufacturing companies. And I'll be presenting at Atomic Object on November 6th, showing the live demo of the application as well. And I don't have time for a live demo, so I'll just wrap it up a little bit early there. So thank you very much.
All right, questions? Right here.
Can we see the demo?
Go ahead, fire it up.
Okay. Let's show it. Aha! The Wi-Fi is not the great mission there. All right, so this is the demo. So the application is based around a really 3-step simple process. You have users that have screens. On those screens, they have widgets that contain information from different views you can set up for them, and then there's data stored behind that. So if, for example, I wanted to build this dashboard, all you'd have to do is go into this administration area, open up the definition of that demo screen right here, and you can drag and drop widgets from the left-hand side and build your own, you can build your own screens. I could add or remove things from this screen if I wanted to. And as quickly as that, you can have that change implemented for the users and that user interface optimized for them. So I can just close out, reopen this here, and that's removed. All of the content of our dashboards are also real time. So I actually have a custom written web page that I wrote here for a mobile phone where I can go in and I can put some information in here. And we'll just fill out this simple form here, hit submit. After that's submitted into the system, it shows up here in my, my Kanban board, my to-do list. We've got this board component that you can use to drag and drop tasks within different swim lanes. You can drill into those tasks and you can fill out additional information. The buttons that you see, these can all connect to external web services to provide automation and connection to AI, other web services that would do things like get the weather, send emails, generate QR codes or labels. So a lot of capability there. And then in addition to that, we can also modify the definitions of the forms. So for example, that mobile app web page is dynamic. So I can jump into my task definition here, go into my view for the API task, which is what that's connecting to, and I can add a new field to this form. We'll put priority down here. And by doing that, I now have a implemented change in my mobile app here. So somebody using this now might say they want to put in a task, and now they can put the priority in there. So you can rapidly adapt to changing input requirements and needs within the application and keep track of all the data in real time. That's what I got.
Other questions? Great demo. Right here.
You just closed the screen, but the orange box that said quotes. Could you talk for half a minute about your quote process or your RFQ and how it converts it?
Sure. So it could be anything. I mean, it could be a sales CRM type workflow where you've got leads processing into quotes. That was actually a quote generation where you're building a quote based off of a product bill of material. So it's taking the value of components and telling you your profit margins and things like that would be the goal of that. So,
other questions? Right here.
Given that you're working with, Department of Defense and other sort of sensitive type of clients, do you get any questions about the security of your application or anything like that?
We do. So our cloud infrastructure is incredibly secure. It's more secure than any small or medium business probably could put on their own infrastructure because they won't be able to have the security expert on staff. For the DoD, we have to be deployed on a DoD network. So it's going to have to be a separate cloud.
Right.
So what you demonstrated was built on a predefined data model? Was that part of your product that you helped them build a data model tailored to whatever workflow they're trying to build?
We can build the data model within this very quickly. So a real simple example of a project record right here. So I've got a table of projects. I've got within the project multiple tasks. It summarizes the number of hours spent on the tasks up to the top level of the project. And I built this application in about 20 minutes.
So part of the product is simplifying how you build that data?
Yes.
Time for one more question?
What's the biggest difference between this product and what is out there already or what you're going to be competing against?
It's a lot deeper. So technically you can go to a lot deeper to be able to connect multiple data objects together more simply, and it's a lot easier to support. Some of the other ones out there are very difficult to support the configurations because there's a lot of variability in how they behave to a user. Ours is very, very, very shallow from a user interface configuration perspective.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, great pitches tonight. Thanks everybody who pitched. Now is time for our post-pitch announcements. So if you have a community announcement, you can line up right here in front of the whiteboard. And then you can come up one at a time to make your 1 to 2 minute announcement. Please keep it to 2 minutes max so we can move through these quickly. Once you're done giving your announcement, feel free to write up your contact information over here on the board and if you want people to get in touch with you. And last thing, actually the first person can just come on up. So Dan, if you want to start us off. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a consultant with a company called Data Concord. We provide business intelligence through data science. One of our biggest customers is an automotive manufacturer. Right now we're helping them out with some competitive analysis, and we're also finding out which disruptive technologies may eat their lunch. So we're helping to stop that. Another customer we're working with is a major sports company. We're currently generating a lot of currently absent data so that we can generate absent statistics to help different people find competitive edges. Talk to me after, let me know if I can help you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Ferguson. I work for the Center for Digital Engagement. Next month we are hosting the Digital Marketing Workshop. It will be exactly 1 month from today on November 15th from 7:30 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. at the EMU Student Center. We will be hearing from our breakfast keynote, who will be Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, who was the former Director of National Campaigns for MoveOn.org, and he was also the former social media manager for the Obama campaign. Our lunch panel will be from Jennifer Heyman, the Director of Marketing from Zingerman's. In between the two, we'll have a lot of different panels from a lot of startup companies in Ann Arbor, a lot of which are hosted at Spark, such as Parasense, Passive Bolt, Dynamometrics, and a lot of local companies such as 734 Brewing Company and Hyperion Coffee. Right now we're sitting at about 80% of our tickets sold, about 20% left. We do have an early bird special of $50 if you register before October 31st. So make sure that you go to thedigitalmarketingworkshop.com in order to get your ticket before the prices rise. After October 31st, it will rise to $70. Of course, breakfast and lunch will be provided, and we hope to see you there. Come see me after. I have a lot of flyers, and of course, you can check out the website as well for more information. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Hassan Hodges. I do lots of different things, but one of those things is photography. So if you need headshots, I can help you guys out. If you need pictures of yourself standing there with your arms crossed looking really tough, if you need your servers glowing, I can take some cool pictures, lots of lighting. Started a little company that does this stuff. It's called HH Photographics. My name is Hassan Hodges, and I look forward to taking your pictures of beautiful people.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Brady. I'm the co-founder and chief technology officer at SkySpecs. We are a local startup here in Ann Arbor. We have a vision that the world will be powered by renewables. We do that with our robotics and automation software. Essentially, you put a drone out in front of a wind turbine, you press go, and it goes and takes a lot of pictures of the wind turbine blade to help make maintenance decisions. The reason I'm here is because we're getting ready to close a Series C. The funding is already committed. Right now, what I'm looking for is a lot of people. We're hiring anything from product managers to marketing managers to if you're into enterprise sales, we'd love to talk to you. And I'm in the technology side, so my personal favorite, I need software engineers very badly. So if you'd like to talk, come find me or my colleague Keith, who's also here. I'm gonna go to happy hour and hopefully Keith will come with me.
Hi, my name is David Rashti. I'm the CEO of a company called CandyBay, which is a marketplace intelligence company for consumer loans and residential mortgages. If you're interested in that, please talk to me, but that's actually not why I'm here. I'm looking at alternative ways of funding my company, so rather than going to the usual path of raising money through VCs, what I really need is guys that sort of like a cross between an open source type of arrangement and hiring employees. So I'm looking at models of basically open sourcing my project, but then figuring out a mechanized way of granting equity based on contributions. Very new, I'm still brainstorming it. If there's something out there that you've heard of, we'd love to hear about it. And if you just want to talk about it, let me know. Yes.
Hi everybody, my name is Shane Mulrooney. I'm new here to both the meetup and Ann Arbor. I just moved a couple months ago. I'm an attorney. I'm the former general counsel of a company called Home Chef from Chicago. We were recently sold to Kroger a couple years ago, or about a year and a half ago. And I moved here for my girlfriend. She's going to the MBA program at Ross. So just getting to know the community, trying my hand at some outside consulting now, based on my experience at Home Chef and prior to that. So if anybody has any legal questions, happy to just talk about it. I won't charge you by the 10 minutes like some of them do, but I know there's a legal clinic here too that you guys can use, but they might be busy, so happy to talk to anybody if anything comes up. Thanks.
Hi, I'm John Hoinville from Alpha Django. We're a small consulting firm that builds early stage startups. We have 2 asks tonight. One is we're always looking for early stage startups. So if you know anyone that needs some help in the technology sector or anything, we can help you. We can help build your startup. The second thing we're looking for is we're looking for a mid-level developer with PHP and Ruby on Rails experience. If you know anyone that's looking for a job or wants to experience a great place to work, this is where to come. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jiva Nadaraja. I think it was 6 months ago that I said I started Serendip. Serendip is now 6 months old, and basically we are trying to build a technology community. What I do is I fill the gap for small boutique technologists who can't do their own sales. So my job is to know who specializes in AI, machine learning, Java, .NET, mobile development, and then partner them with clients by understanding what the client's stage of growth is. So that, sometimes clients just want a user experience designer, and sometimes they want an entire team to scale their operation. So that's what I do. I'm just beginning to do this. I have 3 or 4 clients now, and I have about 6 partnerships across North America. I try to keep the work local because I do think that face-to-face interaction is very important. And then I also have a party every 3 months at my home, which is worth coming to. If nothing else. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, one more.
Hi, my name is Paige Walters. I'm marketing director at MySwimPro. It's a swimming app we presented a couple months ago. But we are, in the next month or so, we'll be launching the app in like 9 languages. And so I'm tasked with marketing content in 9 languages or something. So just wanted to get, like, if anyone knows anything about or advice on what to do when you need to create content everywhere, I would love to talk to you. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks for the community announcements. And as we wrap up, I just want to remind you we have this meetup every 3rd Tuesday of the month. So our next A2NewTech meetup is Tuesday, November 19th. So make sure to come back and join us for that. We do have spaces open for pitches in November. So if you want to pitch, please send us an email at organizers@a2newtech.org. Or if you know someone who should pitch, please send us an announcement. I'm always looking to build the pipeline with companies that are interested. I know there's a lot in the area. Some just don't know about the opportunity, but would be eager. So think of connections you have that would be interested in it, and please send them our way. That's organizers@a2newtech.org, and that email goes to me and some other folks as well. General criteria for what we look for in companies that would pitch is that you've done some customer validation, spoken with prospective customers at least, and hopefully you've also built a prototype or have something to show of what you're building your startup around. As a reminder, I talked about the Slack channel earlier. I recommend, again, if you got here late, you check us out at madeina2.com/Slack. That's a great way to stay in touch with people in the tech community here in the next month before the next meetup. So contact us with your pitch ideas for November, December. And then show of hands, who's planning to join at Pizza House afterwards for networking time? Awesome. So definitely encourage you to join. Looks like plenty of folks will be there. Have some pizza courtesy of Ann Arbor Spark. And that's at 618 Church Street. It's a few blocks away. And so not too cold to walk over there yet. It's still, decent. So we'll see you over there. Thanks, guys.